Yo, I'm with Sarah Harrison, aka Lady in the Trap, and you know that's where I like to spend Christmas sometimes. Christmas in the Trap. But yeah, it's the Kush God Smoke DZA, and I'm out here in London, smoking big, you know. Right.
This is the Sarah Harrison Show. You heard it here first, you dig?
The Lady in the Trap, you already know she bring the heat first to the UK. Let's get it.
It's what it is.
Smoke DZA, aka the Kush God, for obvious reasons. Your first time in Europe?
First time in Europe.
Nice one. You just come from Amsterdam.
Yep. I had a show in Amsterdam last night. It was everything I expected it to be.
Okay. You mean everyone high?
Everybody was high. It was the ultimate smoke session. I had real good pot, and I had a good time.
So it was kind of a good way to kick off your tour because you've got quite a few dates coming up.
Yeah, I do.
But you do know you've got to be careful everywhere else, right? And not everywhere is Amsterdam.
No, I'm sure. I mean, it's like New York. It's like New York, you know. It's like New York is not legalized or decriminalized, but yet, you know.
Exactly.
You got to be careful. That's all.
For sure. So let's just clarify for a start. DZA actually stands for Dream Zone Achieve, which is the title of your latest album.
Correct.
And is Smoke, am I guessing, because you are a heavy smoker, or is there more to your name that we know?
Well, the smoke part derived from back when I was younger, and I was like fascinated with the movie Friday with the character Smokey.
Okay.
This is before I smoked any weed. I was just like a clown. And the Smoke Dog, I was actually Smoke Dog. And then when Snoop started the for shizzle my nizzle kind of shit, the dogs turned into DZA. So I had to come up with a cool acronym for questions like this in the future.
Yeah, for real, right?
So it worked out.
Dope. So let's actually talk about this album then. So you dropped it in April 2014. Yeah, that's right. And it's on your independent blueprint RFC.
Yes, it is.
Did you come up with that? Because it stands for really f***ing cool.
Yes, I can.
That is really f***ing cool.
That's what I stand for. Talking to me, doing all I do, you know, it's just really f***ing cool.
You love your acronyms.
Yeah. Everything gotta mean something, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Now, your collaborations and features have never lacked. You've always brought in some of the best fitters we have, from Dom Kennedy to Big Crit. I love that album, by the way, Big Crit. Nipsey, Kendrick, and even Ty Dolla $ign. So you even had these guys before their mainstream success.
Right.
So for me, the fact that you've actually managed to get them on your RFC, on your Dream Zone Achieve album, is kind of like saying, you know, these MCs are still true to themselves, even though they have gone on to sign to these big corporations. Now, you are very anti-corporation, right?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say anti-corporation, but I'm right now in the stage of what I'm doing on the do-it-myself mode, to where I feel I can capitalize and it's more beneficial for what I'm doing. I mean, not to say that I couldn't have one of those situations, or it hasn't been anything, you know, where I can gawk at, but it's just pretty much an option at this point, you know.
Yeah.
So,
have any of these guys I mentioned been a problem to get on features since they signed? That's
I mean, certain people, I mean, everybody I work with, I can always work with again, because I have personal relationships with these people.
Can see that.
You know, it's not just on some rap. So, I mean, nobody is really hard to get.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. So what do you think of someone like Nipsey's Proud to Pay campaign?
I think it's brilliant, and I think he's ushering a whole new way in order to sell music and make your music mean something and cater to your core fan base and be able to capitalize off that. So I think that's brilliant.
For sure, I co-sign that. So let's actually talk about RFC not just being a blueprint, it's a collective as well, right?
Right.
We've got one of them right here.
My brother Aldo in the building.
For sure. So how many people are we talking about? How many people have we got?
Aldo, Nemlo, Blunt Smoker, 183rd, the producer.
Oh, nice.
That's RFC. That's our Voltron. You know, we all come together and we do what we do.
Yeah. And you brought out another LP altogether, The Outsiders.
The Outsiders, the album, which is in stores and on iTunes right now. Go cop that. And that's all of us as a collective doing our Voltron thing.
I love that album.
Thank you.
It's dope.
we put a lot of work into that. And, you know, we really tried to keep it as conceptual as possible, to where it wasn't just, you know, just us rapping. You know, we just didn't want to just rap. Like, everybody knows we can rap, and of course, you know, for those that don't know, we give them that too. But it was more conceptual than just, you know, bars all day.
You were born and raised in Harlem, right?
Correct.
And it's the home of rap's finest, should we say? Dipset, Big L, and I'm sure you are actually friends with the Dipset crew, right?
Yeah.
How far back do you guys go?
Well, I mean, I grew up on Dipset. I grew up on Cam. I'm really from Harlem, you know, so it's not like I was somebody that just, you know, came up somewhere else and claimed my Harlem. I really was there. So, I mean, I was around forever, but I would say we really linked up maybe like 2 years ago, to where it was like, you know, I was Smoke DZA, not just the underground guy, the kid from 119th Street. So, you know, they respect me, and, you know, of course the respect for me is there. So
right, so we have seen these reunion claims. Well, they're not really claims. I mean, they went up at Funflex's studio, and so it's pretty set in stone now. There's a mixtape, there's a tour, there's merchandise. Flex is going in.
Yeah, I mean, they got a lot going on.
And what are your thoughts on this Jay-Z Flex uproar going on?
I don't got no thoughts on it.
That's such a good answer. I've got no thoughts on it.
No thoughts on it.
Perfect.
It's entertaining, though.
Exactly, right? Exactly. And Harlem is, of course, home to one of the latest worldwide exports from there, which is ASAP Rocky and Friends. So you say your little brother. I'm pretty sure that brings us to talk about ASAP Yams.
Oh, yeah.
What are your thoughts on what's going on there? Because we haven't really had any official statements released, but what can you remember of the guy? And just
that's
let us
another
know.
one of my little brothers. You know, like he was there for a lot, and he was a big supporter of me, of course. You know, like a lot of other people as well. But he'll be missed. That was definitely my guy. You know, so.
Sure.
It's a touchy subject.
It is a touchy subject. I'm sure Harlem will be paying a tribute some way. I think there should be like a concert or something, you know.
Yeah, that'd be great. To be forever.
So instrumental-wise, you've kept it quite consistent, and you use a lot of soul samples in there, right?
Yeah.
You did a whole project with Harry Ford, which is actually one of my favorite producers, and you've actually signed 183 to your. Is it 183 or
183rd?
183rd to RFC. So, what kind of producers are you looking out for, or are you looking to work with more so?
Looking for producers that do hot. Okay. I don't really I can't say I categorize my sound in just soul and all that, because I like hot. So.
Okay.
I like young producers that's not afraid to be nostalgic and not afraid to create their own sound as well. So,
right.
I just like dope shit.
So you mean like you wouldn't hesitate if someone like, you know, Metro Boomin,
I love
Mike Will.
I f with Metro Boomin. I f with Mike Will. I f with fucking Sonny Didrik.
Yeah, these are all the people on my list.
It's like, yeah, these are people that I want to work with eventually. You know, like, I like they sound. I like what they bring. It's something different, and I feel like they could cater to the sound that I naturally am into.
Definitely.
You know, and I think, like, for instance, when I worked with Lex Luger, I didn't actually do what Lex Luger was specializing in.
Okay.
You know, Lex Luger came into my world.
Exactly, adapted to you.
So it was a little different, and Lex Luger actually does that. So it wasn't even really in my world, it was our world, and we created a sound for our world. So I feel like, you know, with any producers that I work with, like, is that. With Harry too.
Yeah, I do love that. But so you've got a show right now in London. What are some of the favourite earlier stuff you like to perform?
Favorite earlier stuff. I like performing Continental Kush Breakfast. I hate performing Marley and Me, but people love it. I'm not gonna lie.
You have to as an artist, right?
I hate performing it, but people love it. You know what I mean? So it's cool. I like to call my set the Kush God Pandora, because you never know what I'm gonna do. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. It just comes on.
For real?
Sometimes.
I love that.
You know, so it's like, I don't really have a favorite that I like to do. I like performing. So whatever comes on, whatever the vibe is, that's what I go with.
Good stuff, man. So what's this year got in store for you, 2015 and beyond?
2015 and beyond. Well, of course, a different structure in putting out my music, and I'm trying to get out the music a little bit and expand to other things, and then circle back to the music somehow. So.
When you say other things, you don't
Other
mean
things like
you don't mean wrestling, do you?
Riff Raff is doing wrestling. So I'm gonna leave that to Riff Raff for right now. But I shot 2 movies last year.
Oh wow!
With Damon Dash, and I'm shooting my own movie soon, and
That's
I'm
dope.
trying to get into that. I think that's
Because I told Rosenberg that I was meeting you, and he's like, make sure you ask him about wrestling.
yeah.
I was like, Rosenberg, that's not my kind of conversation. Sorry, Peter.
But that is the right questions to ask if you really want me to open up. That is the correct question. Shout out to Peter Rosenberg.
Yeah, for real. So what have you got to say about wrestling then?
Royal Rumble was bull. Nobody don't want to see Roman Reigns fighting Brock Lesnar. They better switch it into a 3-way dance somehow.
Right.
You know.
I'll make sure I get a translator because I had no idea what the hell you just said.
Yeah, all of that. WWE Network, $9.99. Vince McMahon, you owe me for the plug.
Love it. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, man. So, thanks a lot.